Hello and good night. I'm here, Jibber Lewis, with the Talk the Ting show. We're episode 2. It is November 13th, beautiful Tuesday. I'm here joined with Keanu Bell. Keanu Bell, show yourself.
Well, go on radio line and go to pick up yourself one time.
And my good friend, Akio Lai. What are you saying, Akio?
Good night, good night, good night.
Thank you so much, people, for joining us for our second show. Today we have a real interesting topic. This is going to be a topic that you're going to hear reoccurring on the today on the Talk the Thing show. It's one of those really interesting things. I feel like not enough people are talking about and not enough people are thinking about, and it affects so much young people and the future of Anguilla. It is Anguilla's tourism identity. Anguilla's tourism identity. I have Keanu Bell with me. If you don't know him, you should. Uh, he's one of the singers in Synergy. He's one of the rappers for Cotton. All around good guy. You know him everywhere. You want to give yourself a little shout out, Keanu?
Yo, Keanu Bell in a building one time. You know.
I got Keanu with me because if it's one person who got them fingers in a little bit of everything, it's Keanu Bell. He's been a good friend to me for such a long time, and I think he's gonna have some interesting light to shed on top of it. We can have some interesting discussion. So we're talking about Anguilla's tourism identity.
Hmm.
So my issue with Anguilla's tourism identity is for so long we have never been able to fully put a finger on what we want to market, how we want to market ourselves. Are we going to be the upscale, high-end tourist destination? Do we want to play it more of the middle field where we are uh, center, middle to upper class, middle to lower class, maybe attract those kind of persons? Do we want to um, be doing the family-friendly route, or do we want to be the activity and party and young person group? These are some questions that never been fully answered, and we're just now starting to become making some big decisions that are going to affect our tourism brand altogether. And I feel as though there's been such a disconnect of unity in these decisions that we made. How
Hmm.
you feel about that?
Well, I mean, you do have a point. Um, we do need to put some type of identification to our tourism industry and not just say beaches.
So you
You know
have
what I
St.
mean?
Martin. St.
Uh huh.
Martin is more or less considered lower to middle class, all inclusive,
Tourism. Yeah.
kind of on the cheap side, tourist. It's for the middle class person.
Hmm.
St. Barth, you have the ultra high end,
True.
luxury, mega yachts and celebrities uh, type of deal. And then you had Anguilla. Where do you feel as though Anguilla fits into that little triangle?
That's the whole point. You
Why do
can't.
you feel as though Anguilla's tourism identity is right now?
I want to say high end. I want to say that.
High end, so like high end to the level of St. Barth.
Not to the level of St.
Who are we
Basil.
competing with?
I don't think we're competing with anybody at that point. Like, to be honest. And I think Angola has a lot to offer as well. I mean, we could sell the high end, but we could still sell the middle class as well. Um, it's a very ticklish topic, a very ticklish topic.
My idea has always been Anguilla is the family friendly mid to high end tourist destination. How you feel about that?
I mean, that probably might sum it up.
It
But
leans into our villas, which are not cheap, which
yeah,
are
those are high
geared
end.
is geared to large groups, usually families. It angles in a ridiculously safe place.
I wouldn't really say middle class, though.
Middle to
Well,
upper, middle up to upper.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we
Uh,
don't have much of the budget hotels.
true,
All of our
true,
hotels
true.
are 4 to 5 star grand hotels. Cater to maybe weddings and family structures. It's very safe. We don't promote too much
I
of
think
those
I think
high end
the
parties, etc.
I think you're right, but I think the key marketing term we're looking for here is exclusive. That's what they like to
Exclusive.
throw around. Term exclusive. Anguilla
Not
is
just
an
anybody comes to
exclusive
Anguilla.
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might be the little interesting marketing twist that we ain't really explore yet.
So now here's the question. If Anguilla's right now, Anguilla's tourist identity is this kind of on the exclusive hidden gem that the select few in the upper and middle
But here's the thing,
families that can. It
it
was. You don't think
was.
it's so anymore?
Well, when you got people like Charlemagne talking about,
But even
whoever was
Charlemagne is a high end. He talks about
still,
exclusive
but
thing.
he's
He's a
blasting on his radio. Does that make it exclusive? No. Does that mean nobody
just
knows
because
about
people
it?
are talking about it doesn't mean exclusive. Not anyone can come to Anguilla.
That's true.
Not everyone has been to Anguilla.
That is
And
true.
the persons that who have been to Anguilla is kind of a like
And
a
there's still
group.
a whole bunch of people like if you say that you from Anguilla, they'll be like, where is
Yeah,
that? Is
whereas
that some
Anguilla,
part of Jamaica?
as a
You
now as
know,
opposed to St. Martin, which everybody in them cousin know about St. Martin, because everybody passes through St. Martin.
that's true too.
They
That's
drop
true.
down. It's super cheap. It's accessible to
Yeah,
everybody. They have the international airport. They have the cruise ships that bring in thousands of persons a
every
day,
week. Yeah,
every week.
that's
Everyone
true.
can. It's accessible to everybody. Now I feel as though Anguilla is starting to see a desire to move towards there, increasing
Hmm.
its accessibility.
Oh yeah, you hearing about it? The tortured access,
But
them
that
kind of
goes
thing.
totally against what our tourism identity is supposed to
What it
be.
says it is.
I mean, it makes sense what we are. It fits in well inside of that little trio.
But the truth of
If we are the high end exclusive kind of private kind of
Listen,
special island that we say we are, we don't want to have cruise ships coming in. We don't want to have
here's the
the big
facts though.
airports. We don't want the bunch of people coming in like that. We want to remain a
Here's the
level of
facts though.
exclusivity.
Here's the facts. That makes sense, but it don't make dollars. Feel what I'm saying? There's there's a lot of how many times have the hotels switched ownership? True. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because they switch ownership. A, they're trying to avoid taxes, but B, also because they're not making profit margins that they want to be making. And that's the thing about offering this type of tourism is if you're in a downturn economy, you're not gonna make money like in an upturn economy because the first thing that goes from people's budgets is travel.
very true.
So we're a luxury item.
But
We
but
gotta
with
be
the
careful.
hotels, but with the hotels, doesn't that just sort of lean in towards of what our tourism identity is? Because a hotel does not lean in towards the family friendly bringing. It is much cheaper and much more makes sense for a family to come to Anguilla to get a villa versus to rent two or three hotel rooms.
hmm.
Villas, if you look at the villas on Anguilla, there are villas being built every day. Everybody knows their uncle or whatever who got a villa or building a villa because villas make money in Anguilla. So
This is
people are
true.
starting to move away from the hotels and starting to fill up the villas.
The funny thing is though, the big villas are still company owned villas. They're not private villas, like you
We have a
said.
lot of local Anguillians who own villas.
That's true,
Sorry,
but
I didn't shout out the plug. We on Facebook Live, people. If you're on Facebook, you could jump on. You can go search TDT or Talk the Thing, our Facebook channel. You see our link. We are going live. It's nicely set up. Please join us. We're gonna be listening to your comments from after live, etc. Do check in. You can also see shared on top of my Facebook page, Jibril Lewis at Jibril Lewis, Claren. There you go. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, Akil. I lose your thought.
yeah, why?
So I was saying that the fact that these villas are on the uprise shows that there is a flying set of hotels. I think they are filling in the niche and going
Well,
towards
no,
it.
my point was that I mean you're right, but plenty of companies have already come in. There's a lot of villa management companies. There's already big developments with villa style
Very true.
rooms.
Very true.
Um, Four Seasons has that
Even
same
yeah,
thing. The
Four Seasons
half of
implemented
their
villas.
development
I'm
is a
pretty sure.
villa
Yeah,
development.
Cuisinart did the same thing. They
Cuisinart has
invested heavily
that's
in
what the
those.
reef part is. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I saying like these are the hotels have already realized this. It's not hard to see the market is that way. You're right. 100%.
So now with this being our established market and the path that we're going down, for them to take huge 180s and change up the system and change up our marketing scheme where all of a sudden they want to bring in cruise ships and marinas and these kind of things that counteract so heavily with this tourism identity we've started to sculpt it out for ourselves. What do you have to say about that? Because I know there are a lot of people who are excited about this marina, and a lot of people who are excited about the potential of this cruise ship and all this kind of thing, especially young people.
Question: where's the marina going?
No one knows. No
No
one
one
knows that,
knows.
but that's beside the point. Marinas coming. Marinas coming.
I mean, that might be a form of employment.
A form of employment, but it's going to
Yeah.
be, taking a step forward and shooting your other foot, your other leg in the foot,
What you say there?
because you're going to be stifling growth in one area to which is already working and functional, to hopefully encourage growth in another area which is not set in stone. It seems like a bad investment.
Hmm.
That seems like selling your stock in Apple to go and invest in some other company that you ain't sure gonna do well yet. Apple
True.
already doing well. The villas are already bringing in money, they're bringing in people.
Hmm.
I think there is something to be said for the fact that the island on a whole doesn't benefit as much from a villa as from like a hotel, where the hotel has to employ X amount of people and stuff like that. A villa, is much easier to maintain, or can only be operational at when it's
In use.
in use, and doesn't require as much staff and stuff. So it's not as good for Anguilla. And I feel as though that's been a part of where we've been coming into some.
I don't think that's true. There's a lot of services. I mean, like,
Yeah, for
Can you
sure.
owns a landscaping business. That's a side service that like a smaller landscaping business like can use. Might not get an opportunity to work at Four Seasons or Capsuluca, but he
For
might
sure,
get a
but
nice villa.
Keanu might get contracts for villas every now and then
But that's
when
what I'm
the
saying.
villas
This
need to
is
be maintained versus the fleet of X amount of workers that Cuisinart has to hire are always on the clock to maintain the whole premises at all times.
yeah,
A
but
hotel, depending on how you run it, I think Cuisinart is like a year-round operation. That's permanent jobs for permanent people. Keanu, villa closed for the
Hmm.
season.
Nah,
There's nothing going
there's still
on.
maintenance.
Yeah, still
Yeah.
maintenance, but how it ain't the same thing.
Yeah. True. Hmm.
I think it is the same thing because it's still jobs given to the people
It's not
in
the
the
same
general
quality. It's
market.
not the same quality, and it's not the same amount. It's
Quality
definitely
jobs is
less.
always a different story
Yes,
because
that's
you
I
say
was saying the
that, but
less.
then like okay, you're saying that, but Ken is the owner of his own company, and some of those people can't move up past middle management. So, are you saying they have a quality job? Is that a quality job, or is owning your own company a quality job? Because now Ken has the flexibility to deal with his newborn family, whereas they don't. So, what's really a quality job?
It will come down to a question of, do you want the
Hmm.
steady paycheck or the potential of a huge one? A lot of people need that stability.
It's not even a potential. Kenyu works for the villa. He still gets a steady paycheck every month because a villa is usually a company. Somebody's running the villa. Somebody's
True.
managing the villa. It's not like the
So you
villa
feel you
doesn't
feel as
need.
though it's on the steady side, that you think that
Yeah.
the villas don't negatively affect the amount of population that's being applied.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, it depends on how you look at these things. I think a right or wrong answer for this
No,
question
we're
right here.
just
You
sharing
know
our
what I mean?
opinion, just we
Because
talking
at
the
the same
thing.
time, what he talking about is the quality of the job. Wherein you stating that, oh well, X amount of people gonna be employed.
Yeah, yeah,
But he draw a good reference. I got a young family. They may have a good job, but they don't have time to go to their families.
true. So you like that part of it.
Yeah, there's a little flexibility there.
You know how I like about villas? There are a large amount of villas that are owned by Anglo. There are little to no hotels, one or two, that are owned by Anglo.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, the money that, at least I hope, a good chunk of the money that's produced by these hotels, you would hope, are going into Anguillan's hands and Anguilla's pockets, and then go back into Anguilla's economy, as opposed to some real estate tycoon from New York.
Which is the point I was going to tell you next. The same exact point I was going to make. Um, the money that a private contractor works for in a villa goes directly back into our economy,
Exactly.
whereas the worker for the you're working for a business that has no profit staying here, no money staying here, no investments here other than the land that it's on. And so it doesn't really, in the long run, is it really beneficial? It's more beneficial for each private contractor to work for a villa in the long run of Anguilla because the money keeps going back into the economy. They have to reinvest in the villas, keep up maintenance up,
There are
jobs have
some
to be
people
there.
who are not happy with how Anguilla is marketing itself. They don't like the idea of
A
this
lot of
high end.
people.
They want the cruise ship. They want the all inclusive hotel. They want to see the numbers.
But that would only drop the value of the
But here's
the
the
tourism
thing.
industry that we're trying to hold
It's
up.
definitely gonna drop
Yeah.
the value, but it's not gonna drop
What
the it's better typically to make your money in numbers spread amongst a large amount of persons than it is, from uh, a couple families that come regularly.
my issue with it is that
It's hard to look at St. Martin, the amount of development St. Martin is undergoing, because more people coming in, it makes it easier for infrastructure investments and all that kind
this is
of
what I'm
stuff.
saying. Exactly. We're trying to increase the demand without increasing the quality of the supply. There's
Exactly.
plenty of other things we can market at this right now for free about Anguilla to improve the retention rate, improve the new visitors rate, improve different little things that would help the economy, get better. But I mean, it's hard to believe that they want to bring more
I can
people
see it.
onto
I
the
can see
island,
it.
but there's nothing to do here.
What comes first? The people have the things to do.
But that's my point.
If we
Like,
start to get much more persons and a much more diverse group of tourists, if we start to get maybe some more of the partiers, maybe you can see something like a club or an activity center or a theme park start to get done, and they don't have to fully rely on locals. If you look at something like uh,
I think there's already a demand for some of those things here already.
see it where I don't think people, especially the persons that we attract, family, Highland, they don't do a lot of the things that
Well,
are being trying to be
here's the
done.
thing. It's like if you don't build anything for that type of person to come, they'll never come.
But the infrastructure has to be put in place for them to come first.
Well,
First,
we have a tourism infrastructure. It's already here for them to come, but there's no
how do you
activities, like
feel
I
about an
said.
all-inclusive hotel?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah,
I ain't into them too
I
much,
mean,
to be honest.
I really personally don't agree with the idea of an all-inclusive hotel. Reason being, that takes away from the locals. Number one, because if it's all inclusive, you ain't gotta go and buy no food, you ain't gotta go and buy no drinks. So you're
but
basically
it don't
compelled to
change.
stay in.
It don't change the amount of food and drinks that you're gonna be consuming. You still
No,
consume them. You just consume them honest at a hotel,
no,
and
but
it's a marketing point for
but
specific person.
but as we can go back to this point now, like you were stating earlier, the hotel itself makes some money. There's no profit that stays into the island other than the persons that they pay for labor. No, if you do an all-inclusive hotel, let's say for instance Four Seasons was an all-inclusive hotel, tourists wouldn't leave there
The
to go
restaurant,
out and buy any food and anything because everything is there. You get where I come from.
yeah, yeah.
They will go there and get breakfast versus if they see a bakery up the road, say, hey, honey, let's go try out this local bakery here today. Versus buying breakfast at the hotel, which is more
Can
expensive.
But do you think
Let me ask you a question? Have you ever stayed at one of the hotels for like a
in
week?
Anguilla?
Yeah,
I've stayed in Anguilla Hotel for a
and
week
like been a tourist for like a week.
for being a tourist. Yeah.
Okay, so what was that experience like for you? Did you find you had things to do as a tourist?
To be honest with you, I found it, quite lackluster.
And
It
this is
is
my
a
point. Is I feel like there's plenty of demand for these things, but we don't do them, and we just want to increase the supply, and we have no retention rate. You understand? Our retention rate is people that are over 50, that
so
are
you think
retirees.
you
Those are the
think
people that come back. It's
there
not
is
young people,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But do you think
and people are gonna spend money for the next
are
30,
we gonna
40
start?
years.
Because I know people who come to Anguilla. They tend to be on the older side, maybe retired, and
Yeah,
they come to Anguilla. These are regular. They come, consistently every year. And the thing that they love the most about Anguilla is that there is nothing going on.
exactly.
It's a come, chill out, relax, don't do nothing kind of place. It ain't a come
Yeah,
go do sky whatever
I know what you're
whole
saying. It's a
jet skiing.
retirement
It's
community.
like a retirement laid back. You come
Yeah,
with your family,
I've
you
heard
don't
that
do
I
too.
too
mean,
much stuff.
there is nothing wrong with that, but
There's
at the
nothing
same
wrong with that,
time,
but that does
we need to
not
have
make
a diverse tourism industry. Like, because we can't just target for the expats to come here alone. I mean, there's probably people my age group that
but
traveling
the
the
thing is
world
the thing
constantly.
does do those things
There's problems
conflict
with
with each
that.
other?
Say that again.
Those things conflict with each
Yes, they
other.
do. Because you can't have loud music with
Yeah, you
retirees.
can have
It doesn't work that way, bro.
so they can be a popping place with jet skis and stuff like that and expect that,
Here's the thing.
Barbara Ann gonna want to still come and relax on the beach because there's too much
Here's the
activity.
thing.
That's the reason they come from St. Martin to come here.
Here's the thing. I
That's
think
true.
Anguilla was in a good phase where it could have done the retiree situation. But I think the main issue with that whole tourism is a hospital because and the how hard it is to get here now. Because after Irma, both of those things are in dire need of fixing. And both of those make it very difficult for a senior citizen to come down here and feel comfortable. You understand? If they can't leave with ease, cheap, and easily when they have an emergency, that's a problem. If you don't have health care to deal with their emergency, that's a problem. And they're not going to want to come down here. So,
So you
no,
think the fact that we don't have a hospital and those sort of key infrastructural funds
massive, bro.
is
You
limiting?
have a retiree community. That's their number one concern. If you go in the States, the number one issue in the United States is healthcare. Why? Because a big portion of that population, the biggest portion of the voting population, is of the senior citizen age. So that's the biggest portion of tourists coming to our island, and we need to understand that that's the most important thing on their mind. But you don't even act. Bro, I talk to them about this all the time.
How
Anytime I
easy
talk
it
to
is to get to
expat, that's
Anguilla?
the major concern is why I can't come back because the older I get, I can't be in this type of situation when something happens. If I slip and fall, if I do this, they say this to people all the time, but nobody takes these in concerns.
The
And
hospital for sure, especially if possibly an older, you're going out to a strange place. You want to know that if something happens,
You get
you
proper
you're
get
healthcare.
proper care.
safe.
But in terms of access,
Major problems. It's getting a little better, but it's still a problem.
see now here's what I scared of: airport expansion. You can start to get direct flights from New York and Charlotte and maybe even England, and then all of a sudden the barrier to entry of Anguilla plummets in the bike of
That's
Anguilla.
false.
You
I think
start to see
I
seven
think
hundred
it'll be
dollar going
false.
$700, $500 tickets.
No, because look, okay, Anguillans already value themselves high, so there's no reason why more people coming would make Anguillan prices drive down.
No,
You
no,
know
no,
how
no. I ain't
Anguilla,
talking about Anguilla price. I'm talking about
but
the
this
price,
is listen to
the
what I'm
barrier to entry.
saying.
Okay,
This
go
is what
ahead.
I'm saying. Just because the barrier entry is cheap does not mean people could come here and afford what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? Like there's if Anguilla maintains its price point in tourism, then people wouldn't come fly down here full speed because it's still expensive to
It's
stay
true.
here.
Like Simba.
You understand? It still costs money. It's not like St. Martin where you could get a room for $100 a night. You can't find that here so easily.
But what I feel as though once the barrier entry becomes that low, make it ridiculously easy, those things have to come. Supply and demand. Basic principle. When you start to get cheap flights to Anguilla, you're gonna start to get cheap accommodation.
Yeah, maybe people might do
Bet.
air bread and breakfast.
Yeah, I would do it. I would
You know,
recommend investing in that. If you could get to Anguilla from New York for $500-$700, I'm doing a medium price hotel. Say maybe I want to nice the beaches and you come in and then all of a sudden you drastically change in Anguilla's tourism market. And that tourism market may conflict with the other tourism market.
yeah.
So that's one of it. My
But the thing
concerns
is,
with
though,
the
when you
issue.
change that, you have anything to cater for that, though. Because now this is a whole nother stream of different tourists coming
Again,
out.
again, it's still you could still control that flow because you don't have to book. You don't have to have that many flights. You could cap the number of flights. You could cap the. You could cap things, bro. You could.
That's not gonna happen. Why would any airline agree to cap the amount of money they could make?
No, they're not. I mean, if you, unless they have a flight booked
If
all
they
the way
could,
through, they
if,
wouldn't fly
if
it
they could book,
nowadays.
if they could fill 100 planes, you best believe they're gonna fly 100 planes.
Yeah, but you don't have to allow in 100 planes to be.
You know how things work in Angola. They're gonna lower 100
It's
planes.
true.
Money talks, money talks.
Facts.
It's gonna change, and then all these
I highly doubt
persons.
them booking in 100 planes to be. I just
I
highly
no no
doubt
not
that.
100, not 100. Let's throw a
You
number
check.
out there.
I just highly doubt that gonna happen. Like,
I see it happening. You can't see all of a sudden they get cheap in Angola. All of a sudden
A cheap
some
flight to Angola.
cheap flights
But
to
as like
Angola,
you said
and then all
before,
of a sudden cheap hotels pop up. Angola becomes a lower budget thing. That's why exactly
but
how
see,
St. Martin
Jabri,
started.
the thing is,
That's exactly how St. Martin
I
started.
feel like
They
Jabri,
brought the build the big international